Hey guys, Josh from CaliforniaThroughMyLens.com. Today we're hiking San Bernardino Peak. If you've driven through the Inland Empire on the 10 freeway, then no doubt you've seen the massive San Bernardino Peak in the distance. This hike is over 16 miles and rises 4,000 feet to the 10,600 foot summit. It's definitely not one to take lightly as it requires a lot of work to get to the summit. Here's my recent journey so you can see what it entails, and if you've been asking for longer videos, be sure to leave a like and a comment because this one's for you as it's pretty long. We set out early on a Sunday morning at the end of August with plans to get to the trailhead at about 6 a.m. The road takes you up into the mountains on Highway 38, and I recommend using Google Maps to get you directly to the trailhead. Also note that at the end of the route you have to drive a half mile on a dirt road where a high clearance vehicle is recommended because there was lots of juts and big rocks. Once you park, be sure to display your adventure pass and then you can start the trail. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, only a few cars on a Sunday, and we're setting out to San Bernardino Peak. We've only been hiking for about 1 minute, but there's already a place to rest. Need a rest, Jared? The trail starts out gradually with good tree cover and an incline that takes you uphill from the very beginning. After about a quarter of a mile, you'll start getting nice views of the surrounding peaks as you head up on the switchbacks. Sun is just starting to rise. There are many benefits of getting on the trail early. One is being able to see the sunrise while you're on the trail, and the other is not having to fight for parking. Note that this hike is uphill pretty much the entire way. The uphill on this hike is no joke. It is rather gradual as the 4,000 feet is over 8 miles to the summit, but it basically never stops, so just get used to it from the beginning. Entering the San Gorgonio Wilderness. I first heard about this hike when my friend Jeff, who runs a 6-pack of peaks, told me about it. Random side note, if you're looking for a fun challenge, check out the SoCal 6-pack of peaks. You can find more information about it in the description. We're about 2.5 miles in and it's 7:15. The sun is just about coming up over the mountains. Seeing the sun come out on the trail like this is what makes getting up at 4:30 a.m. worth it. Look at how pretty the trail is right now. Still lots of bugs and uphill though. The trail continues to climb through this uphill section, giving you some good views when there's a break in the trees. Guys, this trail is beautiful. It's not as busy as Mount Baldy or San Gorgonio, so you get some good solitude. Plus there's lots of shade and trees and views. It's tough, but it's beautiful. There's definitely been a lot of bugs on the trail, as you can see right there. This is the first view of our destination. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty far away. After you get over the first 1,500 feet or so of elevation, the trail flattens out a little bit and gives you some good views of where you're heading. This right here is the last uphill portion of the first half of the hike. Then we have a short flat part, then uphill all the way to the summit. Wow, look at these views. We're about 2 hours in, finished our first uphill section. Time for a break. As you make your way through the last portion of trees on this part of the hike, you'll come out to an area known as Manzanita Flats. This flat portion is a super nice break, but note, there's no shade. This area provides a welcome flat section of the trail with great views down into the valley and up towards the peak. Note that it's nice to have long pants here as the trail is narrow with plants encroaching on both sides and some of them are a little bit prickly. We found a wheelbarrow on the trail. No idea why that's there. We've reached this junction and we want to continue straight towards Limber Pine. We made it back to the shade. Even at 8 a.m., the sun's pretty hot up here. So we're at 4.5 miles, we're at about 8,500 feet, which means we got 3.5 miles and 2,000 feet to get to the summit. Still a long ways to go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty exhausted. It's starting to get tough with the elevation. This part of the trail continues to be more of the same. Occasional parts of shade, big trees, lots of views, and some solitude. Heading up along that way. Nice little rest spot at the 5-mile mark. These views just keep getting better and better. Makes the uphill kind of worth it. As you get above 8,500 feet, the trees get a lot more sparse and you can see out in the distance for miles. We just reached 9,000 feet of elevation, but that means we still have 1,500 feet left to go to the summit. By this time it was about 10 a.m. and the sun and heat became a major factor as we continued to head up the switchbacks. Eventually we got over the notch and made it to Limber Pine Bench Campground. We're about 6 miles in, we made it to Limber Pine Campground. If you want a 2-day San Bernardino Peak, this is where most people camp. The backcountry amenities are sparse here with no real water, but it does have amazing views down into the valley. Note that this hike gets a lot more difficult once the sun comes out, so get an early start so you're not blasted by the sun when you get up here. Look at who we found on the trail. Kirby.
What's up, guys?
This is the only water on the trail, so if you need to filter water, do it here. At this point is where you start to really feel the elevation. Be sure to take your time and rest often, especially in the shade if you find some. That notch right there, that is the next goal. Don't underestimate this hike. It's basically a continuous uphill grind all the way to the summit. The trail is well maintained and it's a nice gradual the whole time, but it is uphill the whole time. At around the 9,500 mark, we actually got a view of Big Bear Lake across the way. Yeah, Jared! Woo! Oh, this is the bench?
That's the bench.
This is Kirby's favorite bench. It's famous. I don't know if it lives up to the hype or not.
That's not the bench.
Ah. So Kirby has been telling me that there's this epic bench that's the best part of the trail and that he can't build it up enough because it's that good. So we're about to see whether Kirby's bench lives up to the hype. I don't know, I think I've seen better benches before. 5 out of 10. All joking aside, this is so epic. This bench was right around the 10,000 foot mark, so we took a much needed break, and actually the views from the bench are better than the views from the summit because there's less trees blocking your view. You could even see San Gorgonio out in the distance, the tallest peak in Southern California. We're in the final half mile past 10,000 feet onto the summit. There's still a half mile to go to the summit, but on the way you'll definitely want to stop at Washington's monument. 2 minutes off the trail is the Washington Monument. It's a survey point that was established in the 1850s and was helped to lay out the rest of Southern California. On to the summit. From here, there's nothing left but just to push on through the last part of uphill to the San Bernardino Peak summit. We made it to the summit of San Bernardino Peak. Like I said before, the views here are not as good as that of the bench, but it's still quite an achievement to be at the summit of the 10,649 foot peak. There are lots of rocks you can sit and rest on and have your lunch at, plus be sure to take a picture with one of the wooden signs.
Now it's 8 miles back to the car.
Of course, be sure to note that getting there is only half the battle and it is a long grind to get back to the car from here.
Thanks for hiking San Bernardino Peak with us. I'm putting this away because it's 8 miles back to the car. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.